Today we will talk about the most popular role in Valorant. Being a duelist offers so many benefits that we can't ignore them. For instance, the insane amount of dopamine we get when we hit a nasty sheriff one tap or when we are at the top of the leaderboard with a significant margin. These are all lovely perks of the most aggressive role in Valorant. Now I am going to give one tip for each duelist so you can improve and become better. The first agent is someone with a strong British accent. Yes, you guessed it right. It's Phoenix. The Fireboy is an OG in Valorant, being part of the game since the beginning. In the early stages of the game, he was one of the best duelists and the whole community loved him. His flashes were undeniably scary to play against, while his molly was a double-edged sword that could cut you into pieces or heal Phoenix back to his very best. The ultimate felt like a 6-man on the team. He was absolutely insane. He did lose a bit of popularity in the last few episodes, but with the trick I am about to show you, he can still cook. The ability we need for this is his flash. As an average Phoenix player, you would approach a corner you want to flash and just pop it over the edge to make sure anyone standing there is blind. Securing that kill is easy, but what if I tell you that you could do this so much better? Instead of the casual flash, get close to the wall and then use the ability. I know it sounds a bit weird, but give me a second to explain this to you. Let's say I want to pick A main on Ascent. I would flash to the right to curve it over the corner of the wall, but I purposefully want my flash to get stuck on the wall. This way the flash will bounce off the wall and almost work like a pop flash, blinding anyone in main. This method is faster and much harder to predict. It makes it really difficult for anyone to dodge it and will grant you some easy frags. Now let's talk about a queen. Not just any queen, but the queen of smurfing. The queen of solo queue. Yes, we are talking about the Mexican duelist Reyna. She's the symbol of crazy smurfs hitting 60 kills in gold lobbies. The most selfish agent in the game, and after her recent buffs, she's even more dominant than before. There is one thing that annoys me a lot when I play with her. Almost every single game, I hear people say, "Yo Reyna, why don't you entry, man?" In the case of double duelist comps, she has the right not to entry. Matter of fact, she can be more useful being second in line. Other than the flash, Reyna has nothing to work with ability-wise. Agent is based on getting frags and snowballing with them. So the question is, how do you start getting frags to start this snowball effect? Being first in line doesn't maximize the value of her ability kit, putting you at a disadvantage from the start. Why, you may ask? Since Reyna's abilities only reward you with benefits if you get an elimination, going in first without anything to protect yourself is quite challenging. Instead of putting yourself on the line to create space, let other agents with movement abilities do it for you. If they get killed by the defenders, that's the moment when you can really shine. Being close to the agent who is creating the space, you ensure that they will be traded if they get eliminated. And the snowball effect we talked about has already started. So next time someone argues about you not going first, remember, in a double duelist composition, it's totally acceptable. You will give more to your team by trading and optimizing your way of playing to benefit your own agent's ability kit. Next tip is for an agent that was the best duelist in the game for ages and probably still is. The South Korean agent, the super tough girl, is none other than Jett. First of all, anyone who wants to play Jett needs to be very confident in their skills. I think there is no debate about that. The insane combos and fast position changes require someone who knows what they are doing. This agent requires you to be precise with every step you take and to take calculated risks. This is where we come into the picture. Calculated risks and playing to maximize the strengths of your agent is what you aim for. Her ultimate is the best gun-like ability in the game since it's totally accurate when moving. Her updraft allows you to get to positions where the enemy will not expect you, getting you some simple frags. Since Jett has a free out of jail card with her dash, we can create some more outrageous ideas. I want you to play Operator on Jett every time you can afford it. On defense, there are very few scenarios where you would be at a disadvantage for playing the big gun. To be realistic, most of the time, the value that gun can give you outweighs the risks. This is what I meant when I said calculated risks. Abuse playing operators or outlaws because it feels like a legal cheat code and it's really annoying to play against. You can completely lock down one side of the map. Your impact is undeniable. A Brazilian with an explosive personality is the next one on the list. Raze has a very unique kit as a duelist and it's perfect to separate fights while getting frags left and right. Ultimate is absolutely insane if we consider that it can one-shot the whole enemy team if they are close to each other. The nade is great to clear ratty corners and force players into your crosshair. But today I wanna talk about her satchels a little bit. With the 8.11 patch, we had nerfs coming in Raze's way, making her movement in the air a bit less effective after satchels. Just as important, the satchels now won't do damage and knock back the enemy if they are the ones who shoot them. This is even more meaningful now that Abyss has entered the map pool. We have seen that Abyss has some very interesting new features. One of the main themes of the map is that you can actually fall to your death during a round if you don't watch your steps. So what does Raze have to do with this? If you are doing your job well, you can create situations where you can simply push enemies into the depths and they won't even have a chance to fight back. For example, on A side, if you are a defender, you can simply wait until someone gets to the breach. They won't stand a chance against you. After flying with the satchels was nerfed, maybe you can consider holding them in post-plant situations on the new map. This is obviously a very specific situation, therefore the idea isn't useful for every map, but on Abyss I am sure you can find a way to get the best out of the satchels either way. The Japanese master of illusion with anime protagonist vibes is the upcoming agent. Yoru is one of the hardest agents to master in Valorant. His ability kit is extremely creative and thanks to that, he's capable of some crazy stuff. The clone is able to run through cipher chips, making the setup almost completely useless. His flash is an absolute monster of an ability if used well. You can always come up with original ideas of how to trick your enemies and get an advantage out of any round. The ultimates can get you an amazing amount of information and hitting a site, or you can get the first blood with the legendary ultimate plus Bucky combo. Teleports are just a cherry on top of this already tasty cake. You can always be where the fights are with a simple ability and the enemy will feel like they are playing a 5v6. TPs are especially unique, since not many agents have even similar abilities, and exactly this is what we will get deeper into. I see most unexperienced Yoru players throwing a TP, and then as soon as it reaches the desired spot, they flash and TP right after without a second thought. This can create some very uncomfortable situations where Yoru players have to flick their crosshair to clear the spot where they landed. If they are unlucky, they get shot as soon as they are out of the TP. The key here is that you will be facing the same direction upon getting out of the TP as you were facing when entering the TP. This is important so you can be ready for the fight instead of needing to break your wrist to clear everything around you. Next time you decide to TP with Yoru, make sure to have your crosshair facing the spot where you expect the enemies to be. This will definitely make your fights easier to win. The upcoming agent is fast and very frustrating to play against. Philippines has created this monster with the name Neon. She is hard to master, but anyone who gets to learn her can be ridiculously overpowered. We know that she has a stun and a wall that can create great situations for you and your teammates to get an advantage over the enemy. On top of this, her ultimate honestly feels like a cheat code. Anyone who has decent movement can just jump and run around while eliminating you with her finger pointing at you. But this time, we focus on her slide. This tip is more like a mechanical fun fact that not many people know about. Getting comfortable with your slides is the first step to become an unstoppable Neon player on the ranked leaderboard. Usually, if you use your slides, you would have to rely on your movement for the rest of the round. But if you pop your ultimate, you actually get one slide back. Even better, every time you get 2 kills with the ultimate, you get a slide back. When you are in beast mode running around with your ultimate active, make sure to abuse your slide because it's almost limitless. This is how it's possible to do things where the enemies are completely lost because you are sliding back and forth. The next time use your slide before activating your ultimate, make sure to also slide after getting frags during your ultimate. This is how you can maximize your kit's value while being helpful to your team. Second Chinese agent in the game is the next one on the list. ISO came into the Valorant scene as something fresh, but the hype quickly died off as everyone realized he isn't too good to play with. There were many flaws in his utility kit, but after the patch 8.11, he became very impactful. His shield was mind-blowingly strong, and upon activating it, any bullet that hit you counted as a wallbang. This made him favorable in any given 1v1 situation. He got a bit of balance change, and now he's somewhere in between being absolutely horrendous and being playable. His wall is lovely to push into a side while not having to worry about a certain angle. The vulnerable is great to make combos with, like on S and A main combined with a So Wild. Today I want to talk deeper about his ultimate. So how do you use it? At first, it seems pretty simple. You are sure about someone's location, so you ultimate towards them to make sure you can play that 1v1 where you are obviously having an advantage. Either with having the shield on, or just simply because you have 2 walls to play with while he has only 1 cover to fight from. But this ability is also great to get information. You cast the ability and you catch no one. Surprise, surprise, that section of the map should be free to take. My main idea here is still a bit different. When a site is locked down by a sentinel, you can get the best out of your ultimate. After getting info about his location, you can cast the ability and you are in a 1v1 arena with him. Here you can buy as much time as needed. If you win the fight, amazing, and you guys are already on track to win the round. But if you get eliminated, it's still not the end of the world, because when he's doing the 1v1 with you, his setup goes inactive, giving your team a free side. In addition to this, your teammates will have the time to find the spot where you kidnapped him from. So even if he wins the fight, your team can trade. Now you understand the Duelist a little bit more, but if you wanna improve with initiators also, you should check out this video.